Hey book lovers, Kaylee here and welcome back to the Enchanted Library. I feel like it's been a while since I've done an actual proper video, but this one has been requested a few times, so I thought that I would give it to you guys. I was trying to think about what I should have for this video, and so I went online and I actually found the Camp NaNoWriMo Tag. So I'm going to be answering a few of those questions, and then I'm going to add in a couple of other details to let you know how I'm getting on. So it's kind of like a midpoint check-in, even though I know we have like a week and a half left, so it's a little past the midpoint, but I figured I would take this video as a chance to let you guys know how I've been getting on with this month and what is going on with camp. Question number 1 is, what are you working on for this year's Camp NaNoWriMo? Now the answer to this is a little bit difficult for me, but the best way that I can describe it is that it is a historical fiction with a bit of mysticism. But to give you a little tidbit, basically it is a group of people who are uncovering unknown worlds, and from there they get thrust into this adventure that they didn't even think was possible or they didn't think could happen. So I'm trying to draw in as much from historical accuracies as I can, and I've been doing a lot of research on it, and it's been really fun to actually go through and figure out all the clothes that were worn then, what to anticipate for travel, and that sort of thing. I've always loved historical fiction and I love fantasy, so the fact that I'm trying to combine the two is pretty exciting for me. Question number 2 is, how many Camp NaNoWriMos have you participated in? Answer to this is 1. This is my first Camp NaNoWriMo. I mean, I have participated on and off with traditional NaNoWriMo since 2009, I believe I made my account, but this is the first time doing camp, and it's a whole new ball game. I particularly like the ability to set your own goal based on words, hours, minutes, pages. There's so much flexibility with Camp NaNoWriMo, I think that it's a great option. Question number 3 is, how will you be tracking your progress? I think I'm going to be tracking my progress the same way as everybody else. When I feel like I write a good chunk, I end up going to Camp NaNoWriMo and just logging in an update for my words written, and then it just gives me an update. So it tells me how I'm doing based on my goals, and then it also tells me how I'm doing in relation to everybody else in my cabin. Another great thing for tracking is the software that I use is called Scrivener, and I just love that it has ways to track your word count. So if I am aiming for a particular amount of words that I want to do in a day, then that helps me a lot with it. Question number 4 is, what's in your bag? What are your camp must-haves? I'm not going to get into this answer very much because I already answered it in my initial video, which I will put a link to in the description down below, or as one of those little slide things that comes out above my heads. Question number 5 is, what kind of cabin are you in and how did you find your cabin? I feel like the cabin that I'm in is kind of a haberdash of people. Some people actually are from NaNoWriMo and from their main offices, and then I have my friend Tara from the 3 Bookshelves, she's in it, and it's really people that she has worked with for Camp NaNoWriMo in the past, for the past couple of years. So they're all well known to each other, and a few newbies, including myself. And I think, I'm gonna see if I can remember, I think we're called the Nexible Novelists. I think that's it. So we're kind of just a group thrust together to chat things through and talk about how our progress is. And that's how I found that cabin as well. I wasn't sure if I was going to participate in cabins this year, but then Tara had invited me to be a part of her cabin, and I couldn't pass that up. And the last question for the tag portion is, Camp NaNoWriMo versus traditional NaNoWriMo. What do you do differently and which do you prefer? I don't think I have a very good idea yet which one I prefer or what I would do differently. Considering I'm coming from strictly just doing regular NaNoWriMo, I'm kind of integrating a lot of what I've done in the past there to camp. So there's not much that I've done differently aside from adjust the goal that I want to write and having that flexibility. But for now, I've really just been trying to find whatever moments I can to write and really just see how it goes that way. Honestly, I take NaNoWriMo and Camp NaNoWriMo as an opportunity to strictly focus on writing. So, I mean, that's really all I do. I don't really think I do anything differently. And as for which I prefer, like I said, this is my first camp, so I don't think I can give a really good judgment call on that, but I'm having a lot of fun. Alright, so now that those questions are answered, I'm going to get into the midpoint check-in. So there's really a few topics that I kind of wanted to touch on in this video, and the first one is the adjustable goals. So with Camp NaNoWriMo, like I touched on in those questions, you can adjust what you want to write. So you can choose if you want to write a screenplay, poems, if you want to have a word goal, if you want to have an hour goal. There's a whole bunch of options for you. That being said, when I initially started this month, I had anticipated to do 30,000 words, and that was what my goal was. When it hit the midway point, one of the members of my cabin did a check-in just to say, hey, want to see how things are going? We're almost halfway to our goal as a cabin as a whole. If you don't think that you're going to be making your own goal, maybe think about adjusting, and if not, keep up with it and keep at it. And I took that to rethink my goal for myself and sort of adjust what I need to anticipate from myself. So I did end up decreasing my goal from 30,000 words to 20,000 words, which I think is a little bit more reasonable for me at this point, because I've basically written more this month than I have in the last year. So I mean, I'm still really proud of myself for that, and I am totally okay with decreasing my goal, but if I am able to exceed that, that is even better. But yes, I did decrease my goal, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do that, because it also makes me feel like I'm sort of helping out my cabin as well, because I can track their stats too. I know how we're doing as a whole, and at the midway point after I adjusted my goal, we were at about 48% completed. So I feel a lot better about my choice to do that, and I just really hope that I can still surpass it. Another thing that I participated in a few more times this month is the forums. Even during traditional NaNoWriMo, I never really tended to go to the forums. I would peruse them every once in a while, but I didn't actively participate. This time I wanted to make a little bit of a change and participate a bit more. I'm still not as active on there as I would like to be, but the forums are a great way to sort of vent things and get help with things and really just be a part of the community. So one of the forums that I had participated in was, what is your favorite advice that you have been given about writing? And I don't think that I really would have had advice previous to this month, because I heard the advice this month and it really helped me out. But previously, I mean, the best advice for writing is just to keep writing and to read and just to grow as a writer. By going through, I was seeing a bunch of people's comments about the advice that they had been given, and it was all really nice, coming from good places and just a really positive environment. And then I thought that I would add in the advice that I had heard. So I follow the author Erin Summerall on Instagram, and for the past month and a half, she has been hosting live Instagram stories on Mondays and Wednesdays, and she co-hosts them with author friends that she knows. And she basically has it as like a writer's workshop, so she takes time to answer questions and to talk about the writing process and the editing process and all that fun stuff. And I just find it really, really interesting. But a couple of those videos now, she has hit on the point of some advice that she would give to writers. And that advice is to make micro goals. So I put that down as the best advice that I've been given for writing, because it really has helped. I have felt really overwhelmed by my story because I have it all plotted out. It's all done. I just have to sort of stitch it all together and fill in the blanks. And I'm still excited about the story. I'm super pumped to get it done, and I think it's going to be amazing, but it's just been a little bit difficult for me because of the fact that it's done. Like, I know the beginning, the middle, the end. I know what's going to happen and when. It's not a surprise for me anymore, but that also changes as you're writing. But the micro goals has been a really good thing to set, because it starts out micro. Like, it's the smallest thing, like turn on your laptop, open up your software that you write with, read the last sentence, and each time that you do these things, you just check it off and you're making progress. And then by the time you get to the stage where you're reading that last paragraph or that last sentence, something might just click and you just want to write. And it could be a sentence. Write a sentence is another micro goal, or write a paragraph, or do a little bit of research. It's just all of these things that get your juices flowing and then make you want to write more because you are excited about the process again. Not that I'm not always excited about it, but it gets a little bit daunting when you're feeling a little overwhelmed by your own story. So micro goals was what I added to the forum on best advice given. I did just want to talk a little bit more about the cabins as well. I know that I touched on it in the previous questions, but I really like the aspect of cabins. You have a core group of people who you're familiarizing yourself with. You have access to their stories and their progress, or what they're offering, so their description, maybe an excerpt, a cover that they made, and you can talk to them almost like you're in a big chat room. So I really like the aspect of cabins a bit better than forums because it's a lot more accessible and it's easier to get to for me. So I've been really enjoying the cabins, and the group that I'm with is really great, always willing to offer advice and are totally okay with me having my little panic attacks of I don't know if I'm going to be able to write, I don't know what's going on. So it's just a really great group to be a part of. And then back on the topic of writing, actually writing, I wanted to let you know a little bit more about the software that I use and how I've laid it out. So I use Scrivener, which is, if you're familiar with NaNoWriMo at all, I don't think Scrivener is going to be a new thing for you, but it's basically writing software that really formats everything for you to be appropriate for screenplay, poetry, a novella, a novel, non-lit or non-fiction, just a whole bunch of different options, and then it breaks it down even further for you. So you have your manuscript, and then you can break down your manuscript into chapters or into scenes. I've chosen to split things up into scenes, and then there's another feature where you have your characters and you can give breakdowns, and then plot points, research, things like that, and it's all just easily accessible on one side of your screen. The page that you're writing on is in the middle of your screen, and then you can choose to have like a little corkboard or additional notes to the right of your screen. So how I've listed everything out for myself is, like I said, my manuscript I have broken down into acts, and I'm writing in dual perspectives. So what I've done is I've flagged each scene that's in the act with whose POV I'm in. So if it is the female character, I actually have a flag that's purple. If it is the male character, then I have a flag that is blue. And then with that, in my character profiles, I have that same system with those. So I can go to the name that I want, and I know that that is the purple flag, and that is going to correlate to all of the purple scenes that I've written. So it's just a really, really well organized way of doing everything. I also love that there's a location and places section, so when I'm referencing the area that I am writing about, I have pictures and maps and things like that that I can just go to and reference. And then also, because I'm doing the 3-act structure, on the corkboard to the right of the screen, I have a breakdown of what I want to happen in Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 based on the 3-act structure. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on was my writing routine, because I did have a few people ask me about that, and I'll be honest, I don't do anything too crazy or too special. I find that my mind gets in the mood for writing in like the middle of the night, which is awful and annoying, but apparently that's when I am the most productive, is in the middle of the night. So I will tend to situate myself either in bed or on the couch with a blanket wrapped around me and my laptop and my notebook, with a pen to make any notes in said notebook, and then I brew a pot of tea. Really, this month I have been feeling the black tea. I mean, I love black tea normally, but for some reason I'm not really switching it up this month. Sometimes I will go to green tea, herbal tea, fruit tea, a whole bunch of different options, oolong, but this month I've been all about the black tea. So I'll let you know a couple of the teas that I have been loving and going to the most this month. And the first one I actually received as a gift at the HarperCollins Frenzy Presents event that I went to, which was actually all in my previous video, and it was an Owl Crate exclusive tea from Riddle's Tea Shop and Curiosities, and it's called Sherwood Forest. It is a decaf tea, so even though it's black, it's nice to have in the middle of the night because it's not going to keep me up. And that one is Earl Grey and Sweet Blueberry. and it tastes and smells amazing. I have been very, very careful about how much of this I use. I've been re-steeping it because it is just a small little bag, but it tastes delicious and it smells amazing. So that is one that I've been going to a lot. The next two that I have here are actually from the same brand, and it's a Canadian company called Steep Tea. I absolutely love their teas. They are my ultimate favorite way to have tea. Their tea is amazing. So the first one is one that I'm pretty much done with. There's a few dregs left there, but this is just a traditional black tea English breakfast, and this is one that I have been using obviously a lot. And the last one is one of my all-time favorite teas, so I will reach for this at any time. I feel like I should have 100 bags of this, so then that way I will never not have any, but it's the cocoa mint tea, and that's another black tea obviously, and it tastes like an after 8 cookie. It's absolutely delicious, and I love mint and chocolate, and this is just a great combination in tea form. And then sometimes while writing I will have a snack. I feel like because Easter happened just shortly before camp started, I had all of this Easter chocolate and Easter candy, so that's really been my go-to snack. Mainly chocolate, because I'm a sucker for chocolate. But since that has pretty much run out, I have gone back to tea biscuits. But for the last little while, the snack I have been reaching for is the Pepperidge Farm Monaco's mint chocolate, and these are so delicious, and again, it's mint chocolate, so you know I'm gonna love it. I have a couple of those while I'm writing, and I am a happy girl. I do also keep a water bottle next to me. I don't use plastic water bottles. I haven't used those in years, but for Christmas this year, I actually got this one, which is from the brand Pure, and I have been using this so much, like pretty much just exclusively for my water, and it keeps water cold for ages. So I have been loving this to have by my side as well while I write. And then really the other thing that I have on in the background while I write is usually instrumental music. So it can be anything from just favorite classic piano pieces or instrumental soundtracks from movies or TV. I'll keep those on, but lately there is actually a Disney playlist that is on YouTube, which I will leave a link to in the description down below, and it's pretty much I think it's the 100 top songs from Disney, and it's perfect. It's all instrumental, and it's just really good ambient noise for while I'm writing. I'll find at times I don't even fully hear it because I do keep it low because I don't want it to interfere too much, because I will catch myself, I promise you, I catch myself singing along while I'm writing and it kind of catches me off guard. But yes, that does happen, so I try and keep it down a little bit lower so then that way it's sort of just in the back of my mind, and from time to time I'll even forget that it's on, so I will have been writing for like an hour and the music is still playing. And that's another great thing. If you even look up any of the Disney instrumental playlists on YouTube, it's perfect because they tend to be like 3 or 4 hours long, so you can just have them on in the background and not even think about it. So that's another thing that I do for my writing routine. And then I think that's where I'm going to end this video. But if you have any questions for me, or if you want to see any other particular types of camp videos, let me know. And as always, be sure to share this video with your friends, like and subscribe to my channel for more videos, because I do put out new videos every weekend. And I think I'm actually going to be starting to do additional videos because I have a lot of content. But once a week means that I'm pretty much good to go for the next few months. But I want to put more videos up, so I think I'm going to do bonus videos. So I guess click the bell icon, because I think I have that next to the subscribe, because if I put out additional videos, then it'll let you know, and then that way you won't miss it. But that is it for today, and until next time, keep reading.